April 12, 1591. A single afternoon near the Niger River bend, where the fate of millions will soon hang in balance. 4,000 men armed with muskets face an empire larger than Western Europe. By sunset, West Africa's largest civilization could be erased. The Battle of Tondabai lasted just hours, but its consequences have echoed across centuries and distant continents. What fell that day was not just an army, but an entire world, a vast, sophisticated civilization unknown to many today. This is the story of the Songhai Empire, a realm stretching across the Sahel from the Atlantic to modern Nigeria's edges. For over a century, it dominated West Africa, governing tens of millions with remarkable administrative efficiency and stability. The empire's origins trace back to 1464, when Sunni Ali Br seized control of the declining Mali Empire's vast territories. He was a military genius and ruthless conqueror, transforming a regional kingdom into an imperial powerhouse through 3 decades of relentless expansion. Sunni Ali conquered Timbuktu in 1468, wresting it from Tuareg control, then Jin after a brutal 7-year siege. By his death in 1492, he had forged the framework of what would become West Africa's greatest empire. Under his successor, Songhai reached its zenith. In 1493, General Muhammad Tur seized the throne in a coup. Establishing himself as Askia Muhammad the Great, he ruled for 35 years, transforming conquest into civilization with visionary leadership. Askia Muhammad understood empires are built on governance and justice, not military might alone, reorganizing the administrative structure. He divided the realm into provinces governed by appointed officials reporting directly to the capital at Gao, sophisticated statecraft on a massive scale. He standardized weights and measures, ensuring fairness in commerce and reducing disputes, which greatly supported flourishing trade. Trade flourished under this stability, and vast caravans crossed the Sahara, carrying gold, salt, ivory, and goods to Mediterranean markets. At its height under Askia Muhammad, Songhai controlled approximately 1.4 million square kilometers of West African territory. To put that in perspective, the empire was larger than France, Spain, Germany, and Italy combined, unmatched in scope. The Niger River served as the empire's commercial and agricultural lifeline, the very pulse of Songhai civilization. Cities like Gao, Timbuktu, and Jin sprouted along its banks, bustling centers where merchants exchanged goods and ideas. Songhai was more than conquest and commercial success. It became a beacon of human achievement and intellectual growth. Nowhere was this more evident than in Timbuktu, the legendary city synonymous with learning, wisdom, and scholarship. Under Songhai rule, Timbuktu transformed into an international center of Islamic scholarship, drawing seekers of knowledge from distant lands. The Sankore Mosque became the anchor of a university attracting students from across the Muslim world. 25,000 studied there. These weren't casual students. They were dedicated scholars pursuing mastery, spending years mastering Islamic law, theology, and astronomy. Scholars debated philosophy and jurisprudence in Arabic, the lingua franca of medieval intellectual discourse, making Timbuktu the Oxford of the Sahel. The city housed hundreds of libraries, including private collections belonging to wealthy families and distinguished scholars. Between 400,000 and 700,000 manuscripts were produced during this golden age, texts on every imaginable subject. Ahmed Baba al-Masafai, born in Timbuktu in 1556, was renowned for his brilliance, mastering law, theology, and literature. He authored over 40 books, and his personal library contained 1,600 volumes, reportedly the smallest collection among his peers. Consider that 1,600 books was considered a modest library in this place, allowing it to truly sink in. This was the intellectual climate of Timbuktu, where knowledge was valued as highly as gold, a pathway to prestige. The empire's wealth was staggering, beyond what most European monarchs could even imagine in their wildest dreams. The trans-Saharan gold trade made Songhai rulers the world's richest monarchs, fueling legends of unimaginable wealth beyond the desert. Empires, however powerful, contained the seeds of their own decline after Askia Muhammad was deposed by his own son in 1528. Songhai entered dynastic instability and internal conflict. Succession struggles weakened central authority, and provincial governors grew defiant. By the late 16th century, the empire remained vast and wealthy, but subtle cracks appeared in its foundations. 1,500 kilometers to the north, across the Sahara, a new power was watching with hungry eyes: the Saadi dynasty of Morocco. Morocco had its own problems: economic troubles, political instability, and ambitious rivals threatening the dynasty's survival. Sultan Ahmad al-Mansur needed gold to finance his ambitions. He knew it flowed from south of the Sahara, wanting absolute control. In 1590, al-Mansur made a decision changing West African history, assembling an army for the continent's future. He assembled 4,000 Spanish and Portuguese mercenaries, Moroccan soldiers, and European converts, armed with muskets, arquebus, and thundering cannons. Then he ordered them to cross the Sahara Desert, one of Earth's most hostile environments, an audacious gamble. The journey took months, and half the army died from thirst, heat, and exhaustion before reaching Songhai territory. But those who survived arrived with a devastating advantage, proving decisive in the coming battle against the empire. The Songhai Empire had Africa's largest cavalry, tens of thousands of brave, skilled warriors, but they had never faced gunpowder weapons. On April 12, 1591, the armies met at Tondabai, near the Niger River bend, where destiny awaited. The Songhai forces vastly outnumbered the Moroccans, but numbers meant nothing against disciplined volleys of musket fire and cannon blasts. The Songhai cavalry charged again and again with legendary courage, their warriors fearless in the face of death. Each charge broke against gunfire and thunder, horses panicked, and by afternoon, the Songhai army was shattered. Askia's shock too fled. Gao fell within days. Timbuktu opened its gates, and Jin capitulated, recognizing the futility of resistance against the invaders. The largest empire in West African history collapsed in weeks, destroyed by technological disparity and internal weakness to this devastating invasion. The Moroccan invaders seized major cities and, crucially, the gold trade routes that had made Songhai fabulously wealthy. However, they couldn't govern such vast territory. The empire fragmented into competing kingdoms and city-states, never reunited under one authority. Military conquest was just the first phase of Songhai's erasure from history and memory, with a devastating legacy. Next came the systematic dismantling and dispersal of knowledge that had made Timbuktu a beacon of learning for the medieval world. The Moroccan victors seized Timbuktu's libraries with ruthless efficiency, bundling thousands of manuscripts as plunder across the Sahara. What couldn't be carried was often destroyed, burned as fuel, or left to rot, as conquerors prioritized gold and salt. The scholars themselves fled in all directions, carrying what books they could on their backs, a desperate exodus from Timbuktu. The great intellectual network connecting Timbuktu to Cairo and Mecca unraveled, witnessing the death of an entire tradition. For 2 centuries, the region descended into fragmentation and decline. Timbuktu remained, but its golden age was over. As European powers began colonial expansion into Africa, they found none of the magnificence medieval travelers had described. When French explorer René Caillie reached Timbuktu in 1828, he found a modest town of mud buildings struggling in desert heat. Disappointed European audiences concluded that medieval accounts of Timbuktu's grandeur were exaggerations, convenient myths safely dismissed and forgotten. That verdict became the official narrative. Western history books declared sub-Saharan Africa had no written tradition or significant empires. The Songhai Empire, governing an area larger than Western Europe and sustaining a great learning center, simply vanished from the record. But the manuscripts survived, hidden in private family collections, sealed in desert caves, or buried beneath mud brick homes, enduring silently. In 2012, extremist forces threatened Timbuktu. Local librarians launched a desperate rescue, smuggling precious manuscripts out on donkeys through enemy territory. Today, those manuscripts are being digitized, translated, and studied, proving what Timbuktu's people always knew: their ancestors built something extraordinary. But here's the haunting question: if this vast empire could be so thoroughly erased, what else was lost before anyone saved it?